Hey folks, Christina here to walk you through Excel pause and practice number 3-1. So I've got our file already open on our screen. We're going to jump into step number 2. And step number 2 on practice 3-1 just lets us know that there are a couple of columns of hidden data in this sheet. And so I'm going to show you how to unhide those and how to rehide them just in case you're curious. So you can see we have column F here, and then we have column I. So G and H are missing. They're actually hidden. To find out or to look at the hidden information in a spreadsheet, all you have to do is highlight the two columns on the outside of the hidden information and press unhide. And then it shows you. So now we have a view of column G and column H. And this information is just used in other calculations of the sheet, but we don't need it for the work that we're going to do today. So I'm just going to highlight those two columns and hide them again. So we're back to what we started with. Now, what I just showed you is not in the instructions. It's just a little bonus for those of you who were curious about, hey, how do I see the hidden information? So now we're going to move on to step number 3. And step number 3 is all about creating a chart object. So we're going to select cells A4 to D9. So A4 all the way over to D9. And then we're going to see our quick analysis button, which is this little tiny button at the bottom of our selected cells. So we're going to click that button, and then we're going to choose charts. So we'll click on where it says charts here, and we're going to choose the clustered column. And so as you hover over these different styles of charts, it will give you just an idea of what they look like. For this one, though, we're going to choose that clustered column. And so we've wrapped up step 3. Moving on to step 4, it asks us to position and size our chart object. So the chart object is this little chart that we've just inserted into our sheet here. So letter A on step 4 says click the chart object if it's not selected. Ours is already selected, and you can tell that because it has these little white dots all around the side. Then it says point to the chart border to display a move pointer. And so our move pointer is this kind of looks like a compass point with like a crosshair, but with arrows on the edges. And so when I click that, when I left click that, I can move my chart around on my sheet. And so that's what we're going to be doing in this next step, which is step C. It says drag the chart object so that its top left corner is at cell A12, covering the expense data. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of drag it over here to A12. I'm at the top of A12. Then I just release my mouse clicker, and it makes the chart be still for me there. Next, we're going to do a resize arrow. So I'm going to scroll my screen down just a bit. In letter D, it tells us we need a resize arrow. Well, a resize arrow, hopefully you can see that, is just a little diagonal arrow with two arrow points on the end. And that will allow me to left click and drag over to J30 is where we're going. So let me get my resizing done here. Okay. So when I release my clicker, it expands my chart. So again, I just use that resize arrow, left click my mouse and drag it to J30. And so it covers up that previous expense data. That wraps us up for step 4. Next, we're going to look at how to do a quick layout. So again, it tells us to choose, or excuse me, select the chart object. We're already selected. We've got all those little selection dots around there. And it says to click the quick layout button, which is in our chart design tab and our chart layouts group. So our chart design tab is already highlighted up top. And then our, let's see here, chart layouts group is over here to the left side of the screen. And we're going to choose quick layout. And then it gives us some different options. Now, as you hover over these options, you can see that my chart is changing as I'm hovering. So this can kind of give you a visual example of what this is going to look like. Our instructions tell us that we are to choose layout number 11. So I'm going to click that one, and Excel automatically formats that chart for me. So I'll take just a quick pause in case you need to get through those few steps, and we'll be right back to start on step number 6. On step number 6, our goal is to create a chart sheet. And so this is a really neat thing that Excel allows you to do, which is build a chart and then put it into its own sheet tab down at the bottom. So step 6, section A says that I am to select cells A4 to A8 on the P&L sheet. So let's do A4 to A8. Then I'm going to press the control key and I'm going to select cells E4 to E8. And for those of you who are like, hey, shouldn't we be selecting A9 and E9 also? We're going to do that in a future step. We're leaving it out intentionally for right now. Okay, so then I'm going to click the recommended charts, which is on our insert tab up at the top. And then recommended charts is kind of right in the middle of your ribbon here. So I'm going to click recommended charts. And this gives you, based on the data that I've selected, it gives you some options of what charts might best suit your data. So I'm going to click the clustered bar, which is in this example, it's the fourth one down. So you can click on these different ones and it will tell you what type of chart it is. And so you can essentially just choose that clustered bar. Then we're going to click OK. And next, we're going to move our chart. So we're looking for our chart design tab and our location group. So we're on the chart design tab. The location group is all the way over to the right, and we're going to click move chart. Now that is going to open up a separate little dialog box for us. We're going to click the new sheet radio button, and then we're going to type in the name of this sheet is going to be income chart. Okay. And then when I press OK, check out what happens. My computer thinks for a second, and then it moves it. Now our chart that we just built is on its own sheet. So I've got my profit and loss sheet that we were working on, and I've got my income chart that we just built. Next, we're going to choose a chart style. So we're going to go to our chart design tab where we've been working. We're going to go to the chart styles group. And then we're going to click the More button, which is this little downward arrow here. And we're going to choose Style 7. So again, as you hover over the different styles, it's going to give you a visual of those. So I'm clicking Style 7. And then we're going to add a data series to the chart in step number 8. So we're going to click Select Data button in our Select Data Source box on that Chart Design tab. So let's take a moment and find that. So we're going Search Data Source Chart Design, and then we're going Data Group, and then we're going to do Select Data. So it's kind of over to the right side of your screen. And then I'm going to walk you through how we change this data. So we're going to select the current cell address range. It's already selected for us. And we're going to press the delete button. Yes, you're actually going to delete that information. And then on our chart, we're going to select cells A4 to A9. So we're giving our data source basically new information. Then we're going to press the control key and we're going to select cells E4 all the way down to E9, and then we're going to press OK. Now my chart is updated and it includes that other data that we left off intentionally before. So that's just a reminder that even if you mess up on picking your data in a spreadsheet, you can always go back and make an edit to what you've selected. Next, we're going to preview the chart to see how it's going to look when we print it. So we've already selected our income chart. We're going to go over to the left top of our ribbon and we're going to choose File, and then we're going to choose Print. And we're going to click Page Setup down at the bottom. and we're going to add a header to this. Now, we did some adding headers a little bit earlier in class, but this is going to be just a different way to add a header to your Excel spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is up at the top of our page setup, we're going to click header footer. And then we're going to go to custom header, which is right in the middle of our screen here. And then you can see it divides it into left section, center section, and right section. Now, what it's talking about is the actual page that prints. Our instructions tell us that we are to insert the file name into the right header. And so you can hover over these little icons and it will tell you what they all stand for. For our instructions, it says it wants the file name in the right header. So we can click OK. We can click OK, and it shows our file name up in the top right. Now, your file name will look a little bit different because you will have saved your file name with your initials in your file name. So that is it. We'll go back to our sheet. We'll go and do our save, and we have finished up the Pause and Practice Excel 3-1. So stick around and we'll do 3-2 in just a few moments.